Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Hour number 8. Very excited to be with you this morning. We're going to be using a project box from Spellbinders, and I'm sure if you had a look at it, it is loaded. So I'm a few minutes early. I like to get set up here. I'm going to fix my camera. It's a little crooked, so bear with me. All right. I've got a nice hot coffee. Good morning. It's been a runaround morning. I thought I had a little bit of time to chill this morning, but that never works out as planned. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I needed a sip of that coffee. Good morning, good morning. So we are going to be doing 3 cards this morning. And then you're going to join Courtney back on her page, Scrapbook of Memories. Later today, she's going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Now, don't panic if that is not a good time for you. Remember that our crafty hours are always on demand after. So you never need to worry about doing it live. They are always here. We love it when you do it live with us because it is way more fun. Happy birthday, Valerie. It's Valerie Hiscock's birthday today. So thank you for joining me on your special day. Good to see everybody. Hello, hello. And happy retirement, Karen. I think it was Karen that just retired. I'm a tad bit jealous. Awesome. All right, I'm going to take another sip. Let's see. It is, I think my clock is out. I've got that it's 10 a.m. Good morning. Need that coffee. Hello, hello. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your box, and then I'm going to jump right into it because I am a little concerned. We are going to be doing die cutting. So you're going to have your machine handy. I have mine off to the side. And this is the box that we're going to be using. And a lot of you should have got notification. This is the other beautiful thing. If you say that you're going to go to the event, you will get notification. So even if you don't plan to do it live, it also makes it easier to find because it becomes your event. So you'll always be able to go back to it. This one that we're looking for, Crafty Hour number 8, January 5th. This is the one that we're going to do. And I have all my goodies off to the side. I have my extra papers. I have my die set because we are going to use a few of these and die cut those together. So I'm going to get those handy and ready. Hopefully we'll be able to get all of them in. So this is going to be my first card. So if you want to get your goodies together. Now I did post a couple of days ago, and I apologize if I'm missing any comments. Sometimes when I'm teaching and crafting, I don't see all the comments because they're off to the side. I'm going to move this a little bit. Okay, so I did post for you guys to find these dies, and I did that just so that it's easier to find them all because you get 2 of everything, and I know that Courtney is going to be using some as well. There's a lot of die cuts in there, so I didn't want anybody to be struggling to find any of the die cuts, so I suggested you find those ahead of time. So we have those. And I have put mine all off to the side. And then let's talk about the papers that I want you to find. You're going to need 1 card. Now this kit comes with cards, which is fantastic. So you're going to need 1 of the cards. I love these cards because I love the texture. It's just a very unique texture. So you're going to need 1 card. Let me move this off to the side. I'm going to use the darker pink. Now, I have gone through and split all of my 8.5 by 11 papers in half. I do that on purpose because when Courtney and I are sharing, this makes it so that I don't use her half, just so that I can make sure that her and I both have enough stuff. So I always cut my papers in half. So that's why mine is in half. I'm going to use the darker pink. There is a lighter pink. We're going to use that on another card, but this is going to be the darker pink. And then in our paper pad, for this one, I'm going to use these two papers. One is a pink dot and one is a pink stripe. So those are the two papers. Usually I use three. It's just kind of habit, but we're going to use two papers. So I'm going to give you a moment to sift through your piles and find a card, a pink stripe, a pink dot, and the darker pink paper. Now we're going to use a little bit of gold as well. So the gold foil, which I love. If you have that handy, we're going to use that too on a few of the cards. I think each of the cards I did a little pop of gold. And again, I have cut mine in half. I know that that is perfect size for me. We'll do a little bit of prep work on that. The gold foil is super cool because it almost feels like aluminum. I guess that's the way I kind of describe it. It is doubled, so it's gold on both sides, which is very unique in the industry. And it has a different feel. It doesn't feel quite like paper. It feels like metal. So I love it. And it's got kind of a matte finish. So again, fingerprints, that's important for me. Doesn't drive me crazy. All right. So are we ready to get started? We're going to start with this card. It's a nice, easy card. We're going to use a lot of the die cuts on this one. And I'm going to show you some ways also to change it up, just in case you want to do that. So this is what I call a horizontal card. Card is scored at the top so that it opens up like that, sideways. And I'm going to move my die cuts off to the side. I have the measurements here. Now again, you can craft with me, but please don't anybody worry about not being able to keep up because this will always be on demand. So I have already cut my paper in half. For me, that is just going to be easier. And I like the skinny borders. We all know that. So I'm going to cut this to just under 4 1/4 to just under 5 1/2. My card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to take it a little bit less. So I'm going to take it to 4 1/8. That is my measurement, 4 1/8. That's in between 4 and 4 1/4. Let's set this off to the side. 4 1/8. Debbie, then you need to contact the store and find out, make sure that you did get one, because I know sometimes people think that they may have, but I can't help you right now during the video, but you can certainly give us a call and we can get you the tracking. And then we're going to take it to just under 5 1/2. It's going to be 5 3/8, just under 5 1/2. So it's a little bit smaller than our card. Okay. Now, let's take this. And I'm just going to hold it up to my card. Make sure that I've got a little border of white all the way around. So I do. So that's good. I am going to glue that on now. Oh, that's no good, Margot. Sometimes the internet definitely can play a role in freezing. I found out in my house I have two different internet things, and one of them is better than the other. So I was in a meeting the other day, and it kept freezing on me, and then my husband's like, well, switch to this one, and it worked much better. I did hear on the way to work this morning in the car, I was listening to the news, and I heard we're in for a big storm tonight. We're getting the storm that's been hitting California. We're due for that tonight. So they're expecting our power to go out, high winds, crazy stuff like that. Oh, Stacy is just saying, Debbie, you did not get one. That is why you haven't received it. Okay, it's not freezing on my end. I am crystal clear. I'm watching it on a computer and it's not freezing on my end. So it might be to go out and come back in. The glue I am using is the quick dry. I like it because it does not warp my paper. It's very user friendly. Okay, keeping up with our card class here. Now I'm going to take my pink dot. And I am going to cut a piece that's 2 1/4 wide. So that's nice and easy. 2 1/4. There it is right there. 2 1/4. And then I'm going to make this 5 1/2 long. So nice easy numbers for this one. 5 1/2 long. So 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I don't need these little scraps. I'll just get rid of those. Okay, now this is going to glue. Oh, I need it not 5 1/2. I need it 5 1/4. That's what happens when I do my measurements late at night. So that means these are all going to be 5 1/4. Let's correct that. 5 1/4. Better to cut it too big. Okay, now let's check it. That's why I always check it before I put glue on it. So I'm going to glue this one towards the bottom of my card. I want to have a little bit of that pink cardstock on the bottom and a little bit of pink cardstock on each side. I'm going to have a big gap up top, but we're going to fix that in a minute. So 2 1/4 by 5 1/4 if you are crafting along. And if you're just watching, that's fine. You can watch this on replay and make the cards then. This will always be there. And as long as you say that you are going to the event, it'll be your event to make it nice and easy for you to find it. Okay, so there is that piece. We try and make these cards easy so that we can complete many of them in an hour. Now with the striped paper, that is a directional paper, I want my stripes to go up and down. Because of the way my card is positioned, it's easier for my eye for it to go up and down. So I am going to make sure when I put it into my trimmer, my stripes are going sideways. That's just going to make it nice and easy. And I'm going to cut that exact same measurement, 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to take it to 2 1/4. I'm going to keep all these papers because I will be coming back to use them in a little bit. So the first one is 2 1/4 and 5 1/4. Okay, I don't need this little piece. So now what I'm going to do is same thing, glue it to the top. It is going to slightly overlap that first paper. Okay. Slightly overlap, which is perfect. We're going to cover that seam in a minute. Let's glue that one on. Now it looks like we have one big cohesive piece. Okay. And I want the same size of border all the way around. I'm sorry that your internet is not cooperating. All right. So we've got the base done. And now I'm going to go to the gold foil piece. And I just need a little strip of this. I am not even going to measure. I'm going to just eyeball it because I want to use this trimmer. So I'm just going to eyeball it at about 1/2 inch. So that to me is roughly 1/2 inch. If you want to measure it, you can put it into your other trimmer and take it to 8 inches. But as long as it's not too big, I'm okay with that. So it's roughly 1/2 inch. And I'm going to cut a strip of this. Approximately 1/2 inch. Let's see how good ooh, I was pretty good at eyeballing, I would say. I got about 1/2 inch. Now, whenever I make this kind of card, I make a lot of these cards when I have scraps left over because you can see that you can build on the scraps. You don't need a full sheet of paper. So a lot of times when I do this, I do like to cover up the seam. So that's what I'm doing with this gold piece. I'm going to put some on there and cover it up. So it's going to be 5 1/4. Did I do that. Let's make sure it goes edge to edge. That's perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to foam tape it right over top of the seam, which is essentially right in the middle of the card for this one. And I'm going to put a strip of foam tape on it. Now, I don't think there's really a right and wrong side to this gold paper. It is pretty much identical, so you just choose what size. And I'm just going to put a piece of foam tape across the back. This is going to just give a pop of color and also hide that seam. So we don't know that we put two papers together. And it's essentially in the middle, hopefully straight. We're only going to see a little bit of it. And then we're going to start playing with our die cuts. So I'm going to bring those in. Now on this card, we used a lot of die cuts. So the key with using a lot of die cuts is having different layers, different heights, so that each of the die cuts really pop in their own way. So you'll know that, see that some of them I did with one foam tape, some of them I did with pop dots, some of them I did with double foam tape. It is just so that each die cut really stands out as its own die cut. So let's get started with this. We're going to start with the big one first. We've got a couple of big ones. So let's pull a couple of these flower ones. These are going to be the first that we're going to use. So I'm going to get all of my flower ones sorted first. And that one goes like that. This one goes like that. We'll do those two first. Okay, so let's start with this one. This is the 3 flowers, blue, white, and pink. And we're going to just put foam tape on the back. So I don't have to cover every little bit of foam tape. I'm going to kind of just center it like so. This is the 3 flower one. Oh, that's not the one I want to start with. Well, that's the one we're going to start with. 3 flower one. And we're going to put this one down in the bottom. Now, I can see I need to peel back a little bit of that because it's going to bump in. So I'll explain that in one sec. We're going to do it like that. That is perfect. So let me explain what I've done. This one's going down into our bottom corner. I did have a little bit of foam tape right on that green leaf, so I just peeled it off so that it didn't create a speed bump there. I've got it right in the corner. I've got a little bit of the leaf hanging over. I always like to do that. I don't like things in a box. And here the key is to make sure that this does not go past the bottom. If it does, it's not going to sit very nice. It can go right to the bottom, but can't go past it. So here is our 3 flowers covering up this bottom corner. You can see I don't see any gaps here. So I've covered that gap. I do see a little bit of dots there. So that's our first one on there. Okay, our second one is going to be this one, the white flower and the pink flower. And I'm going to put some foam tape on there. I've got a couple of these little pieces that I tore off. I'm going to utilize that. And this is also single foam tape. Okay. I'm going to put this one up in the corner. I think I'm going to go like that. Okay. Again, a little bit off the top, a little bit off the side. Flowers are down there. That's the next one. And then the last flower cluster is going to be this one. And I am just going to place it there. I know it's going to look like that. So I don't want to put any foam tape here because it's going to bump into that gold. I'm going to keep most of the foam tape down on that bottom half. So sometimes you have to just kind of place it there, see if it is going to bump into something. You can put glue on that, but really we don't need to worry. I think that might be where it's going to go. Let's have a look. Now, one thing that I didn't want to do is I didn't want to cover that gold center of the flower because, again, that gold foil is really nice. So I have it peeking through. I have it on a slight diagonal. And this is not glued down. I'm not worried because I'm going to put more things on top of it. You can, if you want, you can glue it down. Totally up to you. Okay, so we have our 3 flower clusters on now. Now I'm going to take this little pink one, itty bitty pink one. This is what I always call the stuffers. I'm going to put a tiny piece of foam tape behind there. And I'm going to have this one like that, just kind of peeking out from behind. It needed something up there, so just a little flower peeking out. Okay. Now, what I don't like is right here. This does not look appealing to me. So I'm going to add my large daisy. And I'm just double checking how I did it. 1 foam tape. So I'm going to take my large daisy. I'm going to take foam tape. I'm just going to put it right in the center like so. And I'm going to attach it. So it kind of, look at that, finishes all of that area up. Now you could always go back later. You could add some glitter in the center of those. You could add some glossy accents in the center of the die cuts. You could have shaped the die cuts. We're just going to make it nice and easy. Okay, so all of our floral clusters are done. We're going to now move to the 2 houses. Super cute. And we're going to start with this one first. Now you can see, if we put it on top, that it kind of straddles this piece of gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put kind of double foam tape at the top and then single on the gold. So let me show you how I do that. I'm going to take some of my foam tape, I'm going to fold a little piece over, and I'm going to put it right at the peak. Right at the peak of the house. That's double foam tape right at the peak of the blue house. And then right underneath that, I'm just going to do a little bit of single. Now I want to kind of cover this up a little bit. So I'm going to put it right about, right about there. But you know what? I'm going to add a little bit more double underneath. Just a tiny bit. Just to secure it. So you see what I did here? Fingers are in the way. I just did a little double there, and that's just going to make our house perfect. And I made it so that it touched that area, kind of like everything to touch and have purpose. Now the pink house, we're going to do the same thing. Pink house is going to drop down a bit. I did cover the little mailbox on my blue house just because I wanted to have enough room to fit it. I do know that I'm going to have double on the bottom this time. So I'm going to take some more foam tape. I'm going to put a single piece at the top. And again, don't stress if you're not able to keep up with all of this. You will be able to go back right after we're done and slow it down if you want. So I have single foam tape at the top, double at the bottom this time. And I'm just going to kind of play around with measurements here. Let's see. I think that's good. Yeah. Maybe I'll move it up just a smidge. Well, then my foam tape gets in the way. Maybe I'll tear off a bit of my foam tape. I talk to myself. I'm sure you all talk to yourself when you're crafting. We all need professional opinions here. There, I'm going to do that. Ah, that makes me happy. There. Oh, my house is crooked. Looks like he was in a little bit of a landslide. Okay. So our card is nice and flowing on a diagonal. Now, I'm going to have a bluebird pop in because, oh my gosh, I love these bluebirds. And I'm going to use him with a pop dot. Now, you don't have to use a pop dot. Pop dots have a little bit higher. You can totally use a foam tape for this. It's totally fine. I have a bunch of these little ones left I'm trying to use up. So I'm just going to put some pop dots. And he's going to be kind of flying in like that. That's cute. Cute, cute. Bluebird of happiness. That's right, Debbie. Now, I wanted to talk about the welcome. This is the whole kind of idea of this kit. It felt like it was a lot of like neighborhood and welcome to the neighborhood. It was kind of a good, like, you know, the bookstore and the cafe store. So if you wanted welcome, you could put that on there. Now, that's what I did here. I did it with double foam strip. But I also wanted to show you how you can bring in, let me grab this, all those great pink, fresh greetings that you have. So if you don't want this to be a welcome card, these are the pink, fresh die cuts that we carry. There's a few different ones. I don't remember which one this came from because I'll admit I dumped all of mine into one container so that I could kind of move my way through. But I think that you could use this, just a note to say hello, and use that. So that's what I'm going to do, just to show you the difference. But if you want to use the welcome, what I would recommend is, I'll show you how to use it. We're going to find some foam strips, whatever brand you like. These are the waffle flower ones. I like them all. I do not have a fave right now, but between those two. And I'm just going to take my foam strip, I run it down, and then I'm going to put it back on itself because I want it double. And that might be good. And I'm going to do that because then this can sit kind of like that. So here it will just be one foam tape. It'll kind of finish off the bottom of the house and kind of intersect the flowers. So that is what I did on this one. I did it with double. But if you don't want to use that one, maybe you want this to be a birthday card or a note to say hello. You can look through those pink fresh greetings. They come in gold and silver. This one's a bit bigger. And look how great that looks. I kind of like that, right? Because I don't welcome a lot of people to the neighborhood. I hope that doesn't sound bad. Our neighborhood doesn't have a lot of turnover, and I have not always done that, but you know, either or, right? So that is, oh, one more thing to do. And I meant to bring my little tray and I forgot. I'm going to use some of these sequins because we have some. And these sequins are in different sizes. You can fuss with these sequins after because they're kind of a little staticky. They stick to everything I've learned. And I'm just going to put some of these. I'm using the Barely Art glue just because I really like that little nib there. I'm going to do a dot of glue there, a dot of glue there. I'm going to do a random little triangle. Pick up my tool. Don't press hard on this or you will ruin it. Oopsie. That just picks them up. And then let's see, I'm going to put one there and put one there. I'm going to kind of pick some different sizes maybe. Stick. And I'm just going to put these in a few random places. This glue dries clear, so I'm not stressed out about the color. A little bit there. Come on, let go. Some of these, when I'm picking them up, it's my fault. I'm picking them up. They're upside down when I dump them out, so the cup is not sticking because of the way I've done it. I like to do things in 3 areas. This is the, I don't know what it's called. I call it the craft picker-upper, but I don't know what it's called. It is, there's lots of different brands. It's like a sticky end. It's like a wax tip, and it helps just pick up, but you gotta make sure you don't pick them up. If I pick it up properly, it'll drop properly. I want a little one. See, that one's upside down. There we go. So it's great for picking up gems. I know Courtney does sell this. There we go. And that, when they're dry and you don't see the glue, it just adds a little bit of a shimmer to it, right? All right, yeah, and putting gems in the center of those would look very adorable as well. I forgot my, there we go. Okay, so card 1 is done. I'm going to move along because I set myself a lofty goal of 3 today, and I don't know if we're going to get there, but we'll try. Okay, so just showing you, I always like to have those pink fresh greetings. They come in gold and silver. Always a great idea to have them hanging around for even crafty hours. If you don't like the sentiment, you can utilize your own sentiment on there. That is card 1 done. Everybody good? Bring in, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's bring in card 2. Card 2, this is a great one. I use the thanks, but in your, let's go back to these. In your puffy stickers, you have a whole bunch of words to use, so all of them will work. You can choose whichever one you want. You may want to wait and put something in, maybe it's a birthday card, etc. So we could do that. I have my die cuts. For this, we're going to need the white card. We're going to do another card that is horizontal. Just going to clean up a little bit of my mess here. So I have my white card. We are going to use our light pink cardstock this time. So if you can find your light pink, as opposed to the dark that we just used, there's quite a difference there. So light pink. And then we have 3 papers. So we're going to do the floral paper. This one here, it has large florals with the gold. We're going to use the green pattern, and we're going to use this white pattern that has a bunch of little X's on it. I call it the X pattern. Okay, so I'll leave those there for a quick sec. We are going to do our die cutting on this card. So if you don't have your die cut machine handy, you may just want to sit and watch this one and go back and do your die cutting after. That's totally fine, but we are going to use our dies. So I'm going to get my dies handy as well. Okay, so 3 patterns, floral, green, and our X pattern, light pink, our card, and we are going to bring in our gold again on this paper. Okay, ready. We're going to start with our, I'll move these die cuts out so they're not in your way. I'm going to start with our light pink, and it is the same measurement, but please do not glue it yet because we're going to do die cuts first. So we're going to take it to 4 1/8. That is 4 1/8, just over 4. Okay. By 5 3/8, which is just under 5 1/2. And remember, I had mentioned that I already cut all my papers in half, so I don't use Courtney's papers. So that's why mine didn't have a big piece of paper. Now, I'm not going to glue it on yet. I'm just going to hold it there, make sure it fits. Little white border, it fits, I'm good. But what I am going to do is I'm going to die cut my fence out of the middle. And your fence also has these little panels on top. Now, the purpose of these is to give it that wood grain look. Do you have to do it? No. But can you do it? Yep. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put the pink. This is the pink I just cut. I'm keeping it in the center so that all I'm going to see is the pink border around it. So we're going to utilize that for cutting. And I'm going to take it over and cut on my die cutting machine that is off to the side here. A little bit of shaky, shaky. I actually meant to bring my little sidekick, my little, not sidekick, my little die cutting machine. Okay, so I'm going to take these out. Oops. Oh my gosh. Okay, and I've got these with the little wood grain, simply adorable. And I'm going to do one more cut of just the panels. I could actually do two more. Yeah, we could do two more. So I'm going to put it through again. And one more time. So I'm going to have a total of 6 of these little ones. 6 of these. One more time. Okay. So there is our fence. Not going to put my die cut machine too far away because I am going to cut some more stuff, but I'm just going to put my dies away so I don't lose them. Okay. Put these off to the side. We'll build our fence in a moment. So I have 1 fence and then 6 fence posts, I guess we'll call them. Panels, fronts. And now we can glue this onto our card. Okay, because nobody's going to know that that is there. And I wanted us to conserve paper. If you're making this at home, you might have scraps that you can use, but I just wanted to conserve this and glue it on. And while I'm at it, I am going to glue my posts on. So all we're going to do is take this and we're going to put the panels on top. You don't need a lot of glue. I'm just going to glue it all at once because I don't want to keep having to pick up my glue. So I just put some glue on there. Make sure that it is texture side up. Just going to put that on. Line it up. Oops, that one's a little crooked on the bottom. I'm going to do this side because just realized that when I start on the left, my hand gets on it, so I'll start on the right. So this little tool, once again, just picks up our paper. Just make sure it's picking up the right way. And then I can just twist it and lie it down. It drops in place. One more time. This one's upside down. There. So it's super easy to put together that fence, as you can see. And this little tool, I find it a little bit easier than actually using the tweezers on it, because sometimes picking up the tweezers. I put a little bit of washi tape on the side with my poker because I have a bad habit. It's like, you know, when you go on an escalator and you're trying to find the down escalator. I don't know about you, but 90% of the time I find the up escalator instead of the down escalator. So same thing, I always am pulling the wrong top. So I just put a little thin washi so I know that's my poker side. And this is my picker-upper side. Be gentle with these. It is wax, so of course wax can crack. There is replacement tools for those as well. All right, how's that look? Gorgeous, right? Yee. Okay, set that aside. We're now going to go to our pattern paper. This is the floral. We're going to cut 4 by 5 1/4. This is a completely random pattern, so it doesn't matter where you cut it from. 4 by 5 1/4 for your floral. 4 by 5 1/4. Do it that way. 4 by 5 1/4. Once again, I am going to hold it up. It fits perfectly. It now covers up my fence cuts. And I'm going to glue that on. Okay. So we've got that done. I think I might have been a little lofty in doing 3 cards. But you know what? If I'm a few minutes over, we'll survive. Okay, now I'm going to go to my green. And I'm going to cut a strip of green, 1 1/4. Now you can figure out which pattern way you want it. I know that this one I had changed it. I'm going to do it this way. 1 1/4 wide. So it's not very wide. 1 1/4. And I'm going to do it by 5 1/4. 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. And I'm also going to take a strip of this gold, just a little strip, just over 1 1/4. And I think, you know what? I'm going to cut. Follow along with me for a moment. Let's cut all of our gold, because I think I will feel, we got enough gold. Let's not worry about it. No, let's worry about it. Okay, so we're going to cut all of our gold for all of the cards. So the first piece of gold I want you to cut is 3 inches. Let's do a 3-inch piece. Okay, so first piece of gold, I want you to cut 3 inches. And then I want you to take that to 4 1/4. So we're cutting this piece 3 by 4 1/4. That's what I did. Okay, so 3 by 4 1/4, we're going to use that in a minute. This piece that you have left, this little piece here, that you have left over from that 3 by 4 1/4, we're going to cut it in half, approximately. So it's like that. This is how I conserved my gold. We're going to glue it. We're going to cut it. Nope, we're going to turn it that way. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it this way. And I'm going to do it this way. I'll trim off that top part in a minute. So have a look, watch what I do, and then I'll give you a few minutes to do it. So I cut that piece in half. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on both sides, like that. A little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue here. This is my green paper. I'm going to put it like that. And notice I took it right flush to the edge, and I have a little gold underneath. And I'm going to repeat for the same sides. Oops, got a little fluffy on me. And I know that I have a bigger border on top, but I'm going to trim that down in a minute. And the reason I did this is, first of all, gold, that gold foil is gold, literally. You want to conserve that. But when you look at my card, you only see a little bit on the edge. So that's why I didn't do the whole thing with gold. That's why you don't see a measurement on here for gold. So now I'm just going to trim it. You can use your trimmer, but I'm just going to do it like this because I'm not worried. You see so little of it. Oh, so little. Nobody knows I didn't put gold all the way across. So hopefully that made sense. I cut this piece 3 by 4 1/4. Leftover, I cut it in half. Little gold on each side. This is going to glue flat right across our card. And I'm going to come up about 1/2 inch. So as you can see, I'm going to come up about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put some glue on the back. Our last card is fairly easy. Glue on the back. 1/2 inch-ish. Notice I'm not measuring because I'm not worried. 1/2 inch up. There we go. The middle doesn't have gold. I'm okay with that because we're going to cover it up. Okay, we have one more set of papers to cut, so let's go ahead and do that. We've already done one of them. Let's find our X paper. I want you to look at it so that your X's are going the right way, and then I want you to turn it sideways. So your X's, yes, it is flat, Leslie Ann, just glue. Your X's are technically lying on their back side. Okay, so I look at my X's the right way, then I turn it on their side. And we're going to cut this at 2 3/4. That is this X pattern here, 2 3/4. So that is my X's lying on their back side, 2 3/4. Then I put them right side up and I trim it to 4 inches. So 2 3/4 by 4. 2 3/4 by 4. We're going to bring our pink in and we're just going to give it a tiny border of pink. So to do that, I'm going to take it to just over 2 3/4. So 2 7/8. 2 7/8, that's just a little bit bigger than 2 3/4. By 4 1/8. So that's just a smidge bigger than 4. Now if we did this right, fingers crossed, the pink should fit inside the gold that we already cut. And the X's should fit inside the pink, and we should be able to make a sandwich with all 3. So I'll leave those measurements there. I'm going to start gluing all those papers together flat. And then all we have to do is decorate this one. Put your sandwich together. Pink is in the middle. Both of those on gold. I always make sure that they fit before I start putting glue on the back. I try to anyway. Let's glue those all together. Yay, Tracy, I'm happy you love them. It is a little bit faster paced than a class, but it's a crafty hour. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to do that. I'm going to take a little swig of my coffee. And then this is going to go in the middle, kind of like so. It's going to drop down further, just below that green strip. And I'm going to put it with foam tape. So once you've got those glued together, let's find our foam tape. And, oh, darn. Okay, that's okay. I wanted to cut out the gold, but that's okay. We'll do that in a sec. Thank you, Karen. Yes, we just got some of the pink fresh ones in the store, Sharon. I don't remember which ones they were, but we did just get some in. I think Lulu was putting them out maybe yesterday. Okay, so go ahead and attach that piece. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like them. We still have work to do, though. Whew, lots. Because we're going to do a little bit more die cutting in 2 secs. Now I'm going to bring in the fence that we made. And we're going to glue that flat across the bottom of our card. So I'm going to get, again, my glue that I can get the little... This glue is super strong too. It's surprisingly strong. Speaking from experience, I've tried to take it off and it doesn't work so good. So I'm going to put some glue on. And this is going to come up a little bit higher. Let me get it on and then I'll show you. Oh, nope. I'm going to cut this, right? You'll see why in a minute. I'm going to cut this last one off and I'm going to move the last one over. Oop, I need more glue. 1 second. There we go, more glue on it. Now, the reason I cut that last one off is to save me having to make, oh, I got glue in my mouth, having to make another fence, because this coffee cup, where'd my coffee cup go, is going to sit like that. And then the fence is going to look like it goes all the way across. So I just cut one of those panels off, had a little gap. I have it flush kind of with the green pattern. And that is because the bicycle will drop down a little bit. So it's not sitting along the bottom edge. It's kind of a little bit more flush with the green pattern. Okay. So go ahead and glue that one on. And then we'll find our coffee cup. And your coffee cup has to have some foam tape on it. So we're going to put a little bit of foam tape on our coffee cup. And that is going to go kind of, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go over just a bit. Yeah, that looks good. There's the coffee cup. That just saves me having to make a whole nother fence. No sense wasting fence behind there, right? Okay, we're going to do a little bit of our flowers now. So let's bring in the rest of the die cuts. We have these flowers. There's 3 of them. Hopefully I've got the right ones here. 3 flowers. And let's see, which ones do we want to start with first? Maybe these ones. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so I'm going to stick the big one with the 2 flowers that are pink in kind of behind this. This is why I always leave a little bit of room for me to stuff one under. If you can't stuff one under, you can, of course, just cut it because we're not going to see it. I'm glad you like them. And this one is going to be flat. I always call him the, he's kind of like the base. So here's what I do. I'm just going to stick a little bit of glue in the center, not on the ends. Stuff them down under. And I want, like that, I want the green leaf to be in the corner. Green leaf in the corner. So green leaf goes choop, straight in the corner. My gold is going to fall off just a little bit. The next one I'm going to put on is this one, and it's going to go kind of like that. So I only need some foam tape on that top part, glue on the bottom. So glue on the bottom. And if I'm not sure, put glue everywhere if you want. Put it down like so, and then I'm going to stuff some foam tape under. So that's always a way if you're just not sure where to put it. There we go. Foam tape here, glue there. And then the last flower I'm going to put is going to kind of go, you know what, I'm going to move this over just a hair, like that. This flower, ooh, wouldn't that be nice? Paris in the spring, is going to go kind of like that. So I'm going to put foam tape all over first. Foam tape. Actually, let's just put one big piece like this. Then I can... And I'm kind of being cautious about what I'm covering. Oh, look at this. I'm going to add a little bit more foam tape under where I can see it kind of sinking. Put a little bit more foam tape there. See, squish test, feels good. And a little bit, ooh, I almost knocked my coffee. I'm going to take a foam strip this time. That's the best way for me to describe it to you, is if you squish it and it doesn't feel firm, lift it up, stick some more under there, and make it firm. Okay, I'm going to take my bicycle, our lady here. She's going to go here, and I'm going to have it overlap the coffee cup just a bit. So I don't want to put any foam tape where that front of the bicycle is, because it will get in the way. So I like to just tear my foam tape into little pieces, like so. I'll add a little bit of glue there on the front of her bike. And I am going to move her down to the bottom, like that. She goes to the bottom of that gold, just to give it kind of a perspective. Oh dear, we are going to go over with our last card, but I really want to do it. Okay, then I'm going to take my yellow birdie. I'm going to fold this in half, so I have a double piece of foam tape. And I'm going to put that double piece of foam tape right down on the bottom base. And my birdie is going to go like that. Birdie's going to go like that. Now, you have, I don't have any more. Where did they go? In your chipboard, pack, you have some hearts that are chipboard hearts. So if you want to pull out, you only get one. So I don't have one anymore. But if you pull out your hearts, you can put a little strip of foam tape and put your hearts kind of right here. It kind of felt like something was missing. So you can go ahead and add your hearts on. I put a little bit of chipboard, and notice that I tucked my hearts kind of right underneath there. Again, I don't like things to just be willy-nilly in the air, so that's where I'm going to put my hearts. I'm going to kind of make it so that it touches that. It doesn't touch my cup. All of this kind of touches my cup. Now, we're going to come back to this card in a couple minutes. We're going to cut out the gold from the next piece. So once you get your hearts on, let's set this aside, and we're going to come back to this in about 5 minutes, okay? We're just going to set that off to the side. I'm going to let you guys, after, choose which of the greetings you want. Some of these you can mix and match. You are awesome, right? You are amazing. So maybe that is what you want to put, I put a thanks, but again, you only have one of these. Maybe this is a best friend's. Maybe you want to give it to your best friend, go for coffee. These little puffy stickers, we could just put our best friend there. But that you can do after. So we're going to set this aside. We're going to go and get the next card ready. It's super easy, but I want to do some of those gold flowers. So I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to bring in our card number 3. And this is an easy card. I'm going to show you some tips for this one. Hopefully, I'm only maybe 5 minutes. Let's take our card. This one uses the pattern papers that we have already used. So this is actually a fairly quick card because we're going to use these. Yes, you can, but I'm going to cut them out of the next piece of paper we glue. So Valerie, it's totally up to you. If you want to cut them out of that gold, you can, or you can do it out of this gold when we go to do our next piece. Totally up to you. Okay, so what we're going to use for this one is the same 2 papers from before. This is a birthday card. Isn't it cute? Oh my gosh, so cute. Same 2 papers, pink stripe, pink dot. One of our cards, and I'm going to make this a square card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the fold, I'm going to take it to the top of my trimmer, and I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4. That will make my card square, because my card right now is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So now I'm going to cut it to 4 1/4. Get rid of that piece. You can keep this if you wish. But now I have a square card. Okay, so we trimmed the card to 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now we're going to take our gold leftover piece of foil, and we're going to cut this 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And we are not going to glue this. We're going to do our same little trick and cut out some goodies. 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Although you do have these, so if you want, you can just use these to cut. Where is my die set? Oh, there we go. We're going to use this one and this one and this one. I think that's all I used. Where's my card? Yep. So I'll show you how we can cut it out of the middle. But again, you can use these little scraps if you really want to. These are totally available to use. I'm going to cut that. So once again, let me show you which ones I'm using, which dies. They're so fun dies. These are the 3. Now I really only want this one here, but it's part of it, so that's okay. And I'm going to need 2 of the vines. 2 of them. So flip it back over. And again, if you wish, you can use your scraps. I'm going to move over to my die cut machine. I'm going to die cut those. Going to pop these out. There's one, there's another one, and there is that center. I don't need those other little ones. One looks like a little frog foot. I'm not needing those. And then I do want one more of my vines, my leaves. And as long as, let me put my die cuts back so they're safe. As long as you still have that space around the middle, you are okay. Because we're just going to see, let me show you, that little bit of gold. So we're going to cut out one more. Now, of course, you can shape these if you want. I'm not going into too much of that detail today. And then just because I want to get these out of the way, we're going to go and put these into our coffee card cup. So I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one, I'm going to trim that a bit. If it doesn't stuff, these are what I call stuffers. If it doesn't stuff nicely, you just trim it. That one needs a little trimming. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of glue, and I do not stuff and glue the entire piece because I do want to have some mobility with them. Kind of gives it a little bit more life if they're not smacked down. Let me glue this on and then I'll bring it closer to the camera for you. So I'm not gluing every little bit, just a little. So it looks like that. So now what you're going to see is we actually have kind of a triangle of gold. We have this gold here that we made. We have this gold here. And then we have this little gold leaf from our die cut that is shiny. So it kind of works together. That center of the flower that was kind of a weird little divot thing, almost looks like a little golf ball. I'm going to put that in the middle of this flower. So I'm going to take this. Oh, not that one. Pick that up and do that. Doesn't that gold really just pop it? And then my last little flower that I die cut, I'm going to put, where is my foam strip? I'm going to cut a little piece of foam strip. And I'm going to put a little, if you have a little micro dot will work. Put a little piece behind there. And I'm going to slide it kind of up there just to give it, again, a little bit more color. So now that card is done. That gold really pops. And you know, you have those die cuts, so use them. They're so great for little stuffers. Okay, yours will have the heart, so it should kind of look like that. Okay, I'm going to go back to finishing our super easy card now. These are your extras. We are not gluing this on yet because we will foam tape it, but we're going to put our dots on first. Thanks, Courtney. I am running a little behind, as you can tell, but this card is easy. So I'm going to cut my pink dot to just under 3 3/4. So it's going to be 3 5/8. That is that measurement right there in between 3 1/2 and 3 3/4. And I'm using my leftovers, so I'm not cutting another piece of paper. I'm using my leftovers. So 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. I think both Courtney and I felt that this kit was so huge that we had to kind of do it justice. So now if you have a look, that should fit with a little border of gold all the way around. So let's glue that on. And remember, we have some holes in the middle. So I'm really going to try to keep my glue to the very edge, right? Otherwise, I may stick to the table. Wouldn't be the first time. So, and I'm going to try and do it so that I don't stick to the table. So that was 3 5/8 by 3 5/8 for the pink dot. We already cut the gold. Foam tape on the back. That will now hold the middle papers. Okay. And, oh, thank you, Debbie. We're going to put it right in the middle. So I'm going to have about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Okay, we are rocking it. We are rocking it. Okay. Now we're going to go to our leftover stripey piece. This is the scrapbook adhesive. 3L is what is the company, but it's from Scrapbook Adhesive, and this is the 108-foot foam tape. It's the one I always use. So our pink stripe, this is again a leftover piece. Don't cut a new piece. This is leftover from card 1. We're going to cut this 3 by 3. Nice and easy. 3 by 3, a square. 3 by 3. 3 by 3. And then I had mentioned to you guys that if you have some scraps of white cardstock, to find those, because we all have scraps. If you don't have a scrap of white cardstock, of course, let me look, you can use one of your cards as scraps, but I'd hate for you to do that. The cardstock they gave us was, it's kind of a creamy color. And I didn't want cream on here because my card was white. So that's why I suggested just a scrap that measured 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. Now, if you already cut that, then, actually, let's use this. If you already cut that, then you're ahead of the game. I have not cut it. So 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. That was one of the things I suggested here that you do, white cardstock. Now, I am going to use this die cut. This is what I mentioned. I used the scallop square die cut. I'm going to put it in the middle and die cut that. If you want to use a plain piece of white, then you can do 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. I'm going to show you both options. So my first option, this is my 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 cardstock. I'm going to take this. This is from Dress My Craft. Put it in the middle. Cut it out. Now, if you have lots of white scraps, you can just grab another piece. That's okay. But I'm just going to show you how you can conserve. These are nesting squares, so you get, yep, these never expire, Jeannie. They're always here. Always, always. This is a nesting set, so you get a ton of dies in here. And now I'm going to glue that over top of my hole. And I'm just going to use this glue just because I want a thin line all the way around. Glue it. And then I'm going to glue it flat to the center of my card. And this time I want my stripes to go up and down. Okay? And I'm going to glue it flat. Yes, I'll see if I have these nesting squares. I feel like I should. I feel like they should be in stock. I use them all the time. We'll have a look, Valerie. And I'm going to do this flat. Flat, flat, flat. Right in the middle, tall up and down. Whoop, tall up and down. Okay. Now, you can use this for 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. Or if you want to do a plain square, then you're going to cut a square 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. I'm going to show you kind of the difference here. I'm just using a scrap piece. Oh my goodness. So that's what it would look like if you do plain. I'm going to do stitched because I think the stitched looks so pretty. And I'm going to do foam tape. Oops, I have foam tape stuck to my plate. I just find nesting dies are, they are worth their weight in gold. We're going to foam tape the square in the center. So we just have a whole lot of squares on top of each other, nesting on top. Square, square, square. I'm going to leave that measurement there as well. I think we're done with these measurements. It's all just decorating now, guys, from this point on. 5 more minutes, maybe. I'm going to take my birthday cake. I'm going to put foam tape on my birthday cake. And on that little bottom piece, I'm just going to grab my foam strip. You can see that I never like to use scissors on my foam, but for this one, I think I just need to get a little piece. He's really finicky, but you know what? I think I have better accuracy if I do it up and down. Yep, that's better. Gosh, my fingers are always in the way. So I'm going to put my birthday cake in the middle. That just looks cute just like that. Let's take my flowers. Got lots of flowers here. Okay, this long one is going to kind of go like, yep, like that. I'm going to fit it kind of in just like that for starters. Now I am going to stuff another one of these underneath. So let's see. I think I'll just put some glue on the ends. Let's try that. That way I can still stuff stuff. Right? The cake really does look cute with that scallop. I agree. That's why I love them. Bit. Gotta lift my foam tape just a bit to stuff it underneath. So it kind of looks like that. Really all I'm going to see is the side pieces. And actually, this dark pink flower is going to go flat. I'm just going to put it right on top. Now the reason I wanted this dark pink flower, it's actually a reason. One sec. I wanted that gold bit. Yeah. The other secret, Marion, is don't smash everything down. So like foam tape, if you notice when I put my square on, I just placed it on. I didn't press it down till I know that I'm done stuffing. I do a lot of stuffing. Kind of the key with layers. So you don't want to press everything down. The other key is don't use crappy dollar store foam tape because that stuff does not release. Does not let you pick things up as easy. Okay, I'm going to put a little foam tape on my pink flower. This is kind of a odd shaped flower. I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it right like that. Okay, it's kind of like that. And then this flower that is the really pretty flower with the gold, I'm going to show you what I do. I know I need it there. So I'm going to put some foam tape there. That will kind of level it out. Then I'm going to take my foam tape, put foam tape on the back of my flower, and then place it on top, like that. Cute. So that's kind of the cluster that you're going for. So notice how we did different levels. The big one was flat. This one was 1 foam tape. This one was 2 foam tape. Then we're going to take our bird. And our bird is going to be kind of peeking out from behind that flower, looking at the yummy cake that he wants to eat. So I'm going to put the foam tape there behind that flower. I'm going to add another foam tape. There, a little piece behind him. And then I'm going to stuff his legs kind of behind. He's going to go and peck at that cake. I can just tell. That grounds him. He's behind there. That grounds him. Okay. Couple more things. Let's take our leaves. I'm going to put the light green first. I'm going to move. Oh, I definitely need to pop my bird up a bit so I can get that leaf underneath. Stick, stick, stick. I'll show you this closer when I can get my fingers out of the way. And a dark leaf. Oh, gotta pick up my bird. Okay, then when I'm happy, now everything can be smooshed down. So I just have some leaves kind of poking out. Leave that there for a sec. The foam tape I use is from Scrapbook Adhesive. And this is the 54 foot. There's an 80. No, sorry. Let me redo this. There's 108, which is the thinner. Then there's the 54, which is the thicker. I use the 54. Now that I think of it, I think earlier I told you it's the 108. I use this one. Now, the last things that you need to do, because I don't have any more, is your chipboard. I did this with double foam tape so that it sits over top and I can see that dimension. This is in your chipboard pack. You want to have a little one of these, so whichever one works for you. I'm going to use Your Day. And I'm going to put that kind of like that. On this one, I used Special Day. Any will work. So your chipboard, I don't have because you only get one chipboard. And then you can see here, I once again did 3 of the sequins there and 3 of the sequins there. Just again to kind of balance that. The sequins are clear, so they just add sparkle. They don't do anything. You could add rhinestones. I think it would be adorable to add the glitter rhinestones. The other thing I did is on here, you'll see that you have some flowers. And I just took a pink flower and put one there and one there, just to build on my cluster. All I have left is blue, so I will use my blue one. I'll just stick my blue one under there. That's okay. And I'll take maybe a pink dot. Pink dots, these are really good for inside the flowers. I'll just put it there, just to add something. But on here, I used that. Okay, so I apologize for going over, but I really wanted to get the 3 cards done. It was a little bit more than a crafty hour today. It was a crafty hour and 20 minutes. Where's the cards? But we have 3 really fun cards. Now, there is so much extra with this kit, so much extra. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to create. I can't wait to see what Courtney's going to create either, because I haven't seen Courtney's yet. So that will be at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So figure out wherever your time zone is. As long as you have clicked that you are going to her event, it will show up in your time zone. Another bonus of making sure to click that you are going on the event. And then, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what you have. We have so many papers that we have. This was my favorite paper. but you know I never use my favorite paper. This will not go away. So if you have clicked that it is your crafty hour, then it will always be in your event. So again, another bonus to always clicking that you're going, even if you don't do it live, you can go back, watch this video over and over again. Make sure that you have joined our Crafty Hour Creation Facebook page. That is where we want to see your cards. Look at all this paper left over. Please head over there, create some amazing cards, share them with our Crafty Hour Creation friends, and we can't wait to see what you create. Stay tuned. Courtney will be up on Scrapbook in Memories Facebook page at 5 p.m. Pacific for hers. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.